Hi, my name is Sydney and welcome back to In the Know, the show where we are in the know about all things music. You might notice that I'm a bit lonely at this desk. That is because my co-host Jacob has graduated. Now I can talk about what I want to talk about. I'm just kidding. I'm not. In all seriousness, congratulations, Jacob. Wishing you so much success and you will be missed. This artist we're talking about today has an extensive resume. 11 studio albums, multiple re-releases, 52 Grammy nominations with 14 wins, 4 of them being Album of the Year, 86.6 million monthly listeners on Spotify, and almost 100 billion streams on the same streaming platform. She's an esteemed songwriter that will go down in history as breaking the most records on the Billboard Hot 100. Some hate her, some love her. She's also known as a lover. Her name is Taylor Swift. For those unfamiliar with Miss Taylor Swift, she is an American singer-songwriter who has amassed the title of one of the world's best-selling music artists of all time. Taylor Swift grew up on a Christmas tree farm and started making country music at the ripe age of 11, when she would submit videos of herself singing songs by country royalty, the Dixie Chicks, and Dolly Parton. At 13, Swift was given an artist development deal by RCA, and the rest is history. Personally, I have a complicated relationship with Taylor Swift. Growing up, I was not extremely centered around her music. I limited my listening to her singles. I genuinely knew her as the girl Kanye West cut off at the MTV Music Video Awards. I did not fully listen to 1989 until this year, which is insane. I will say, in my late teens, I'm 20 for reference, Taylor became more prevalent to me after the re-release of Red. That was the first Taylor Swift album I listened to thoroughly. I resonated with it so much that All Too Well 10-minute version was in my Spotify Wrapped that year. Don't ask. That began my spiral into Taylor Swift's discography, and I watched Miss Americana. Once I got into my spring semester of freshman year, I was not listening to her as much. She is such a confusingly complicated musician, and while that can be beautiful, I'm not going to get into it. But it became pretty hard for me to get past some of the actions she did as a person. Anyways, I went cold turkey and stopped listening to her. In an effort to view Taylor Swift solely as a musician, I decided to see what two people on opposite sides of the fangirl spectrum had to say about her. Today I am joined by
Alexis.
And we are talking about Taylor Swift. So, how long have you not been a Taylor Swift fan?
So, I wouldn't say that like I hate Taylor Swift or I'm like anti-Swifties or anything like that, but I think I started becoming a little like turned off of Taylor Swift around like 2020. Mm-hmm. I would say that specifically, this critique's brought up a lot when you're talking about Taylor Swift, but I feel like sometimes she does use the fact that she is a feminist and she believes a lot in like feminist ideals to barricade herself from criticism, and like she kind of weaponizes it.
Mm-hmm. I'm here joined by
Kim Casey.
And we're here to talk about Taylor Swift. So Kim, how long have you been a Swiftie?
Oh my gosh. This might sound dramatic, but probably my entire life.
Oh, okay.
I have an older sister, and I think I started listening to Speak Now right when it came out. So I must have been, oh my gosh, like young, maybe like elementary school young.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though you don't see the hype around, or that you're not a fan of Taylor Swift, do you see yourself seeing the hype for other people?
Oh, definitely. One of my best friends is a Swiftie, like, and she has I think Taylor is just a masterful writer, and she knows how to put that pen to paper, and she makes music that speaks to a lot of women and speaks to a lot of people just in general. So I'm a very big fan of 1989. It is something that's in my playlist. A lot of those songs are repeat in my playlist. So I definitely understand when it comes to her talent. I will never discredit her talent. I will never discredit her artistry. She's an amazing musical artist and one of the best of the generation. I just feel particularly like that if there are other artists who have just around the same of talent as her, it does work in her advantage to be white in this industry and like, you know, just be very marketable towards broad audiences, you know? I will say I was a little, when it came down to the Grammys battle, this last Grammys on Album of the Year, I will say, I do not think she should have won. I will go out here and say it should have gone to SOS, and you can fight me. I'm prepared to go to war.
So what about Taylor Swift distinguishes her, like, from other artists from you?
I think that, and I think how I feel is what a lot of her fans feel, is that she's very personable. Like, she puts everything into her music, and I love the fact that, like, she writes her own things from her experiences. Like, I feel like sometimes artists can be surface level to the point where they don't want too much of their personal information in their songs. They just want songs that people can kind of like dance to and feel good about. But I love that she puts her all into her music, and she really gives everybody a glimpse into like every section of her life, everything that's happened to her. And as she does that, as she's grown, like, her fans have grown with her, so her experiences mirror like a lot of what her fans go through as well. And so, like, I like the fact that people can resonate with her.
And she's sort of like taken heat for like being authentically.
She has, especially when it comes to her relationships. I mean, she's not the only artist that's written about past relationships. She just does, and like I said, it resonates with fans. And I couldn't tell you one song of hers that hasn't blown up. And I think she catches a lot of heat, but I don't think it's deserved. I think that she is just very good about being open, and a lot of people don't appreciate that honesty, because she tells it like it happens in real life, and you know, sometimes bad stuff happens a lot, and she's just one of those artists that is not afraid to put it out there.
Okay. So what do you have to say about the sort of like heat that she takes from haters or like, people that just don't generally resonate with her?
I just don't think it's deserved. I mean, you know, I think about a lot of the hate recently that has to do with like football and Travis Kelce and stuff. And as a football fan, as a sports fan, I get it. Like, sometimes you don't want to have your sports feed inundated with Taylor Swift and people that don't, you know, play football for your team or whatever. But I mean, honestly, she doesn't really do anything wrong. She's just there, and people tend to pay attention to her because she is this like mega superstar. And I think she's proven that she does not deserve the heat that she gets. I mean, she's won countless awards. She's written and rewritten and recorded and re-recorded so many albums, like, and her shows are these incredible like masterpieces. Like, she puts every ounce of thought and passion that she has into her projects. And I think she's proved long enough that she can not only switch genres easily, but she can be like pretty darn successful when she does.
And like susceptible to everybody.
Right.
Everybody can.
Exactly.
If I have to say which one had a better impact, yes, of course. Because in my opinion, Midnight's is not even her best album. Like, I'm sorry, it's not. It's not that great of an album. Like, I love her. She's got bangers. And I think when she won for, was it Fortnite? Not Fortnite, sorry. Folklore. Oh, no, don't say that. Don't say that. When she won for Folklore, I totally understood that one, but you will never get me to admit Midnight's. I'm sorry, it wasn't even the second best. Wouldn't have even put it second. It should have gone to Bad Bunny if it wasn't going to go to SZA, and I'll stand on that.
So if Taylor was in the room with us right now, she was here like
she was.
What would you say to her?
Oh my gosh.
Any advice?
Oh, that's hard. Any advice? She's like, I feel like she needs to give me advice. Honestly, I would just tell her to keep doing what she's doing, because even me as like a super fan that's been a fan for my entire life, like, even when she switched from kind of being like more into pop, and then she got more into like the indie sort of with Folklore and Evermore, like, even I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, I don't know if I'm gonna appreciate it, but like, she really can do anything. Like, there's not one thing Taylor Swift can't do, and I know that sounds like dramatic and kind of crazy, but I would just tell her to keep doing what she's doing, and the fact that I appreciate that for me and a lot of fans like me that have grown up with her, we can grow with her and her music, and a lot of what she talks about and a lot of what she writes about really does resonate with like the average, you know, girl listener. And so I just appreciate that like she was someone that like my sister and I could bond over, and that, you know, no matter what she puts out, like she will put something out for everybody.
So is there anything that Taylor could do to win you over?
I think just like I said, it seems that when other women are being like put down in defense of her, I don't know, like I don't ever feel like women should be held accountable for the actions of other people. But if they're your fans and they're doing it in your name, it just doesn't make sense for me to not even just put out a statement being like, I would never want you to condone hate, racism, sexism in my name. Mm-hmm. And if you were doing that in defense of me, I can't call you a fan like that. Like, you know, even just something. But it's just like, how many times does it have to happen? And how many times do I ignore it and be like, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt before I'm like, this feels a little bit like a pattern. And if she could, I definitely say like as a person, you know, as what she stands for, I have nothing against what she stands for. I think as an artist, again, great artist. And she's done a lot for women in music. And honestly, she will go down as one of the best artists in this generation. And she's in contention of all generations. But I just feel like not being a bystander, especially when it comes to other women in music and in this industry, would be the thing that would kind of make me want to support her more.
That's awesome. I like that. Mm-hmm. I personally took a moment to listen to Taylor Swift's newest project, The Tortured Poets Department, with an open mind. I have to say, Red, 1989, and Reputation still remain her superior projects. Those projects for me showed Taylor Swift as an individual artist and her effort to push the envelope in the industry. Tortured Poets did not do that for me. I will say I did like the song Florida. By the way, thanks for the shout out, Taylor. And Clairvaux. The rest of the album doesn't really stick out to me. But I will say a lot of Tortured Poets Department does have some influences of the artists she surrounded herself with, like Phoebe Bridgers and the 1975. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of In the Know. I hope you were all able to learn a little something new to take with you. You might be asking yourself, well, what am I going to do with this information about Taylor Swift's upbringing? I don't know. That's for you to figure out. Hope to see you all in the next video.